allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Glad to see everybody here after a slippery couple of days. Just an FYI, David is on his way to Des Moines for that hearing this morning in Des Moines
That's right,
for our
that's today.
appeal. So we visited yesterday and I told him to go so that we're represented, so that's where
Good.
Dave is at.
I move we approve the agenda.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All the same sign, we're approved. Minutes from February 12th.
Believe they look to be in order, so I'll make a motion to approve the meetings from February 12th.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Now we have general concern. No general concern, we flew through that. Looks like the lady in the front row is up first.
Request from a resident, Art Peterson, to have two tax sale certificates assigned to him. Taxes haven't been paid since 2008, and he's going to offer to pay all the tax and drainage less the city special. There's like a $4,800 city special, which must have been removing the house. And he's talked to the city of Dakota City, and they're willing to abate that. So he would pick up back taxes of $1,917.30.
This is owned by somebody in Oklahoma, right? There was?
That's the last address I have on her, yes.
Mhm.
I'm not even sure.
So the 191730, that's for both
Both
parcels?
for the tax and drainage,
Okay.
that.
And that was always one of our stickers, is to make sure the drainage was,
Don't
Yeah.
forget not to forget
Yeah.
the drainage. The
Something,
only thing that would be forgiven would be penalties,
penalties.
interest, and then that city special, which the city of Dakota City is agreeable to.
Does that give him free, clear title once this all goes through?
Yep.
Gets it back on the tax roll.
gets us
Yeah.
back in.
And so then he- yeah.
His intention, you know, to take care of it and, use it for personal
Is there
storage.
buildings involved in?
Not at the present time,
No, just lots,
Mhm. Over here on First Avenue North,
okay.
north of the new school, I think.
Well, yeah, so this is always a good thing to do because you're lacking thousands of dollars from,
Correct.
Then they cleaned it up if they took the house off,
Yeah, the city did that.
city did
Yeah.
that, so it's,
But the city's been mowing it, so they'd rather not
Yeah.
have that expense.
sounds like about a win-win situation here.
Yeah,
I move we approve the tax, assignment of sales tax, or tax sales certificates to Bart Peterson
I'll second
for the
that.
payment of the amount noted.
we have a motion and a second. Excuse me, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we're sure we'll hopefully get those all moved away.
There you go, we appreciate your help. All right, so 8:35, we have 9 o'clock, we have, drainage, so we have our, any other business before we go to our committee reports from Peggy? Okay.
Okay, as far as committee reports, I had a light week. Monday night, we was at Farm Bureau Board meeting, which you guys were all there. Tuesday, I had a daycare meeting. We're continuing to work on policies, trying to get that turned over to new administrators, so we don't have to worry about the day-to-day things. Wednesday, Rick and I had a housing meeting down in City Hall from about 9 to noon. I'm gonna defer to you, Rick, tell us what we talked about, since you're the contractor.
This past Monday, as Carl said, we attended the Farm Bureau supper, Farm Bureau board and folks there, Farm Bureau building, and that looks like That was all I had last week.
Okay, I had the Farm Bureau meeting on Monday evening. Wednesday, 9 o'clock, Carl and I were at the Humboldt County Housing, and, we reviewed information we received back from this group, housing study. And after kinda going through all the information they'd given us, I think the original thought was, workforce housing when we started this project. And we kinda come to the conclusion that's not what we're gonna look to build. It's more like single family, maybe, what I would call early or retirement housing, where it's all one level, no stairs, walk-in showers, that type of thing, where hopefully people in town who are living in a 2 or 3 bedroom home, a widow or an elderly couple would like to move out of their home and get into something that's more accessible. And that would free up a home at hopefully a lesser value that someone could move into with kids. So that's kinda what we talked about at that meeting. And also different options, whether we're going to look at, duplexes or more duplexes than single-family homes, and different layouts for the area. Is that pretty much it,
I
Carl?
think we kinda ruled out two-story condos.
Yeah, we talked a lot about two-story condos, and it just limited, to who would buy those, due to the stairs. And, we got to thinking that, there's plenty of room there to not have to do that. I think in, the larger cities, there's a lot more younger people who don't mind running up and down stairs all the time, but I think our market area is, we gotta have a broader market for these houses, and also, it's just not a done deal. It's still just talk and studying and trying to figure out what things cost and see if it's even viable to do it at the market that we needed it in. So we don't just jump into these things without really looking at them hard.
Trying to get something about $200,000 or less.
Yeah, trying to get in that ballpark. So it isn't really, a lot of these homes, I know, I've looked at the realtors market, they sell between 80 to 140. So a person could sell their home, move into those, without much financial burden, and get away from all the headaches of stairs and...
You mentioned that same thought process, and it sounds good. I mean, it does make sense.
'Cause I know we have had some talk, a lot of people in the community out there, they don't want a bunch of cheap housing,
No.
'cause, they want it, to be well-built, and look nice,
yeah.
and attract
Talking about
people.
3-bedroom, 2-car garages.
Really?
Yeah,
Is there a location for this?
yes.
There is an actual physical location
I
for
got
it?
physical locations.
Okay. Well, like if...
They did talk on the duplexes, there would be a main floor living area with a bedroom, and then upstairs there'd be 2 bedrooms and a bath. So when they have the 3-bedroom, there would be an upstairs to those.
But that was debatable because of the demographics of the people moving in there, possibly.
Yeah, they wanted the main floor bedroom in case...
Right.
That way they could have it, and if the kids come home to visit the parents, they could use the bedrooms upstairs. Or if you have a family, it'd meet more, people's needs, I think.
Sounds good. I
Yeah.
like the direction you're going. I told Rick too, I said, well, maybe people that already live in town and the downsizing from a big house, 'cause they're getting a little bit older, unfortunately a spouse passed away or something, maybe they have a different mindset. People, older folks that live in the country, they're probably gonna die in the country.
Yeah.
Harder to get them to move, but it would be something for them too,
It
if
would.
they did choose to move to town. It'd be a nice option for them as well. If
Stairs are what usually
Yes.
make people move.
Yep.
Because their laundry room's in the basement, or their
Just
bedroom's
makes sense.
upstairs, and,
There's
stairs...
problems we're running into, they won't have any basements because of the bedrock.
Right.
The limestone out
That
there.
might be a concern.
Yeah.
But it seems like a good direction to go, for
Well,
my opinion's worth.
It'll be a long time before it happens, but...
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of talk. A lot of talking yet to do. And then Thursday, Dave and I went down to, Des Moines for this, health insurance, IGHCP meeting. Excuse me, and Chris went down also, she attended that. It kinda, you know, they said there was gonna be some changes, but I didn't think it was gonna be quite the extended changes that they had. And what it looks like, well, what it is, they're switching from Alliance Select to Blue Choice. Actually, Blue Choice is what, Wellmark's insurers use. They're people who work for Wellmark, that's their, pretty much their policy. It's called a different name, but it's basically the same one. The changes are, you have to choose a personal provider. Every family member has to, they're gonna send out sheets, you're gonna pick your doctor. And that doctor has to do your routine physical, is about all. Someone, if he happens to be out of the office, someone who is his replacement or substitute or fill-in can do that, so. 'Cause I said, you know, if I call in for a physical, it's 3 months before I can see my doctor. If I just wanna go see him for a cold, the chance of me seeing the guy I signed on that sheet is slim to none. So I argued that point with them, and they said that, you know, their replacement can see you without, running into your, going into your deductible and all that stuff. The copay stays the same, the deductible's the same. Another one of the changes is, I think they call it Tier 4 drugs, which is some of your higher priced name brand drugs. They want you to use a equivalent generic or another brand name. They say it's gonna be the same exact drug, but you're not gonna pay for the Cadillac one, the one that you see advertised on TV all the time, is basically what they said. 'Cause they're too expensive, and they can get something that does the same thing for less. If by chance your doctor says you have to have that drug, they'll make exceptions for that under doctor's orders if there's reasons why you can't take these other ones, like maybe you have an allergic reaction to them, or they just don't work for you. But that, I think, were the two main things. One other thing I fought hard on was this, from what I looked at, chiropractic care in Humboldt. We don't have a provider in our community that will carry Blue Choice currently. So I talked with Denise, and she is gonna work hard to get them on board. The difference between Alliance Select and Blue Choice, what Blue Cross will pay the doctor is discounted, it's a little less. So they're taking a little away from the doctor for what their payments are, they're taking a little away from the drug companies and trying to save money. If we didn't make the change, our premiums would have gone up 16.8%. With this change, the premiums are 4.2.
Wow.
What about out-of-state coverage and mail and things like that?
Out-of-state coverage, like the people who are, like, say you had to go to Mayo, you mean? Going through, they give me all the information from Humboldt County. And I think of all the things, only 4 things on that list would have had to go to deductible, other than you're just paying a copay. Because typically they say when you go to like Mayo Clinic or something, you've probably already met your deductible. That's what they say.
Probably.
You know, when you go out to specialty places, you've probably already reached your deductible. So that's to me, the biggest change. Everybody has to pick a personal piece, I can't even, pick your doctor.
Physician?
Yeah. And it has to be written down for every member of the family.
You know, I can see those, my son happens to be a chiropractor, and he's got all these coverages, but he doesn't like to join some of these things because he gets discounted.
Yeah, that's basically
And
what
he got
they
enough
do.
clients without it, so he said, the heck with them, I'm not gonna join your,
Yeah, and if they don't, that will be a burden that some employees are gonna have to carry. 'Cause that's you know, like, that was my biggest gripe. I said, I'm just looking at the sheet and it's gonna cost me more money, because I never hit my deductible, but I'm gonna have to be shucking more out of the pocket until I get there.
The copay's still the same, I mean, the reinsurance is still the same, buy down.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan.
Where were we at? Were we?
We were
the
at,
numbers? I mean,
we
we were
were
the high side
higher.
or the low side?
we were higher than we were last year. We're at
Higher than what we've been.
basically, from the premiums we paid in, I think we paid in $2,500 more in premiums than we had paid back to our county employees in health cost. So we were right at 100%. And we like to be at that 92, 94%. 'Cause when you get up around 100, your premiums start going up. The overall group was right at 98 point, almost pushing 100, and that's why we're looking at this 16.8%.
There's any new members in the
I
group?
was gonna say,
And, we had one new city come in.
Okay.
I think it was Huxley, I think.
so, wasn't last year Algona?
Algona came in last year, yeah. There was,
The Keokuk School District's the only one in, isn't they?
we have 3 school districts. They won't, Blue Cross won't let us take school districts
Anymore.
anymore, because they have a plan just set up for school districts. So they don't let us, take on school districts. I was trying to think of,
I got a question.
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean, you guys went to the meeting, but, and we've talked about this a little bit, the wellness programs?
Yes.
The Be Healthy, was that discussed at this?
a little bit, but not much. I talked with Denise, and I told her to bring us information when she comes up,
Good.
because I said this new facility will get built, and she thought that will help us bring
Right.
down our number, if we do get a wellness
Because we
program
had
going.
that discussion,
Mhm.
I think that's something that, everything goes up, insurance is awful, so it's
Yeah.
going up. Really need, and we've had the consensus, really take a look at it, well, what do we have to do? Let's, have her give
Well,
us
I
some
think
information.
Rasmussen said over there at Wright County, it's just huge in numbers.
Yes.
That they're saving by
Yes.
participating.
And we need to
So
be
we just
looking at
gotta
something,
figure out
because-
how to move forward, and once that is up there, that the county has the ability to use it.
Absolutely.
And, when you look, even when you look at this 4.2%, I think like 3.6% of that is administrative
I'm
cost.
sure.
It's mandated by the government that they charge us for it. They used to have it just kinda hidden in their premium. Now it's labeled out, so actually, the insurance is actually only going up due to our higher number, about 1.5%. But that, 'cause you're always gonna pay this, it's a tax, basically what it is. It's a 3.6%, and it's a tax from the federal government for your Affordable Care Act.
Sure.
Say Obamacare's got
It's
a...
your Obamacare tax.
You bet. That was all free, though,
Yeah,
originally.
and, yeah, boy, that's a heated argument, too.
Oh, I bet it was a rugged deal if you talked about it.
Uh-huh. So, you know, overall, our county wasn't that bad. We went up a little bit percentage-wise, and there was, I was trying to find that graph in here. There were several counties or cities where they were quite a bit lower. They were like in the 60% and 70%.
Wow.
And I asked her, I go, why are they so low? And she says that they use their HSAs more. They have a plan that's, you know, and that way they don't, their deductibles are higher, I think.
Mhm. It doesn't kick in on the
Sure,
insurance.
so it doesn't
That's
kick in on
what
the
we get to.
insurance quite as often.
By a long
Yeah.
shot.
So, anyway, she'll have a lot of good information when she comes up.
Do we have
with
a
us.
time, or rough idea when she's gonna present all this information?
It'll probably be in March or,
I'd say
March
last
or
year was like
April.
a month or 6 weeks after when she started making her trek up. 'Cause
Yeah.
She tries to hit as many counties,
up this way.
Well, I think we got some good
She
questions
came in
for
bad
her.
weather last year.
yeah.
Yeah, she did.
What's that, Carl?
She came in snowstorm last year, so...
Well, let's hope that in March or April, we're not having one, but...
Well, I'd like to tell you thank you.
Yeah, thank you for
Because you
doing
do a good job reporting, and you understand it, but
Another,
Good to know
It helps
we
to
didn't
keep
get-
the same person on every year.
I
That's
think so, too.
continuity.
hang in
I like
there. Another thing that upset me when I was down there is, I didn't know any of these changes were coming. They said there was a change coming, so I thought, oh, it's gonna be a little thing, but this is kind of a big thing.
It is kind of a big thing.
And they wanted it, they told us on Thursday afternoon about it, and said, we're gonna vote tomorrow morning
Mhm.
to accept this or deny it. And, I called Peggy, 'cause I thought, well, gee, did I miss something? You know, and she says, no, she didn't know, and nobody else actually knew about it either. And I made a proposal that we go back and visit with our employees and boards and have an electronic vote, you know, within 10 days or something. And I didn't get any support for that at all. I had one guy come up to me after the meeting, say, that's a good idea. I said, well, why don't you stand up and join me a little bit? So it ended up going that way.
Well,
They just basically throw you between a rock and a
Well,
hard
you
place.
do, either you're gonna pay a lot more money or you're gonna make changes.
Yep. Well, that's why I say
And I
I'll
don't
be...
think the changes are gonna hurt too bad,
Still the best
especially if
plan
we get a
we ever had.
chiropractor on board in town.
That would maybe help offset
Then
the
it'd
other
be pretty much the same.
Yes.
so would it help to go solicit one of them, or?
Denise is gonna do that for us. She's gonna visit with them and see if, and show them the number of county employees they're getting. And if they don't, some of these employees might go to Fort Dodge where
Yep,
they do
they're
have,
gonna go elsewhere.
Right,
so.
awesome.
You might wanna, my question of Rick was, do we have to negotiate this with the union, and why don't you tell them what you're...
And they said no, because this is the insurance, it's not us making the change, it's the insurance company making the change, and they do that all the time. They said they've already ran this through the legalities of it, the union,
Okay,
and that's what they told me. Well, they, you know, even if your employees don't like it, it doesn't change things. She says, so why are you going back and talking to them? He says, well, because I think it's important that we have that communications with our employees and boards and things like that. But I got voted down.
Well,
And
thank
maybe
you
we
for...
can do some informational type things.
Yeah, 'cause it's gonna be some
After Denise
changing.
comes and get everybody aware, we can schedule some meetings up here
So-
and...
it sounds to me like possibly your picture might be up on the wall next year, this guy was kinda starting trouble down here.
Yeah, I was the only one there. She called me out by name.
Everybody gets free darts.
At least you guys sat around the table.
They set me at the end of the table, so I thought maybe they're gonna kick me out. I don't know.
Well, that's good though, don't you?
Yeah, it made the meeting go an extra 15 minutes, but,
Yeah.
How'd they do on dinner, did they?
Oh, it's excellent.
Awesome.
yeah. The cookies were good again, and they had a good meal was
They
really
always
good.
treat you good with
That's
the
the
food.
best part,
Yeah.
they give you the
I-
meal.
Just happened to briefly visit with Dave. He went, he enjoyed it. He thought it was well worth
Yeah,
time
he
to
told me
go.
afterwards that he was glad he went.
And I'm glad, so I told
Because he
him, thank
said-
you for going.
He said it was unlike what he was expecting at all, because he's sat through a lot of insurance meetings and stuff with the city before, and he says, no, he says, I'm glad I went, because he says, if I went next year by myself, I won't have a clue what
Right.
they were talking about.
Well, that's what I said. and-
We've all gone through that.
Yeah.
Now, other than Eric, when your turn comes, it's an interesting
Well,
meeting.
maybe I'll go
It's
next year,
kind of
just like
over
they
your-
went this year.
Yeah, I think it's good, because,
But thank you for
The education
being
deal.
on that, 'cause you have the continuity.
like I said, it took me about 3 years to really get,
That's why you're
Understand
gonna
it.
remain on there, God willing, and everything else, that,
And,
but just get your mind around it.
yeah.
And we look forward to,
I think Humboldt County was the first member of that organization. You look at the little book, we're zero,
Yeah, we
zero,
are.
one.
Yeah, we're up there, one of the first 7, I think, that formed it.
It's a good program.
And, but she is gonna, you know, I asked her, I said, bring us some information why those other counties are so low.
yeah,
You know, what are they doing?
yes.
So,
They got younger people, some of them.
Well,
I asked her that, are they just younger? She goes, no,
Oh,
the
really?
demographics are the
they're
same.
doing something different.
They're just doing something different.
Hmm.
So, I wanna be like them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good work.
Appreciate it very much,
Thank you, Rick.
Rick.
Alrighty.
I was at, Monday night's Humboldt Farm Bureau meeting also. And then on Wednesday, Rick and I met with Melanie,
Oh, I forgot that meeting.
Well,
That
yeah,
was
you were running
impromptu.
from one meeting to the next.
Yeah, that's right.
We met with her down at, EMA office on, some issues and got some of that stuff straightened out, so that was my week. Now, Peggy, you have a couple of minutes?
Look at that new
You
clock,
noticed
will
it's
you?
moved, huh?
I know, it's confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, thought somebody
Much
stole our
easier.
clock. Had a phone call, and I know that Eric's been contacted also on the fire protection. And the gentleman that I talked to this morning was interested to know on the boundaries. Is there a way that they can change, or how do they set the boundaries for who covers, what part of the county?
It's up to the
Like
fire.
Bradgate is, well, like Bradgate is down to like 5 or 6 people that are on their force. Gilmore City is, still got quite a large number and a lot of young kids, and they're basically getting to the fire calls quicker. And for people that live out in the country, you know, it scares the daylights out of them to think that, you know, if they called, they might not have a truck show up there so he was just wondering, and I said, I don't really know.
Yeah, who sets the fire districts? They've been there for a long, long time.
The fire
boundaries.
departments do that. I suppose that would be a good question. We have a meeting with Sharice tonight.
That's what I
Yeah.
told him, was we had 911.
So I told Bruce that might be because
Yeah.
we're getting a question from the fire departments, and so they obviously don't have a clear answer as to who to check with or where to go. I don't know if it's
Maybe
a
it's
state fire.
Maybe it's a good time to revisit that. We
Well,
can mention it to Sharice.
You know, I've had that
Says.
concern over in Norway Township also.
Yeah. So,
You know, why is the line here?
that's really the
And I said,
question,
I really don't know.
because it's been there for a long time, but
Mhm.
they just wanna know who do they have the discussion with to potentially change the boundaries of
Boundary
something.
lines, yeah.
Well, my house, there's a fire hydrant 200 feet from my driveway. So when a fire truck pulls up, they hook up to the hose, to the hydrant, and they got water. When they come to out in the county, they're coming with a couple hundred gallons and hopefully knock the fire down in a hurry.
Mhm.
Well, if you don't have that fire department responding as quick because their numbers are going down, all of a sudden that fire is getting bigger, and that's what he asked was, you know, we're kind of nervous that, our protection, nothing against that town,
Mhm.
just with the other town, they're coming quicker, so I said I'd ask tonight at our
Mhm.
911
Grumbeck,
board.
might talk to the chief, and he might be able to give us some ideas too.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Well, good to follow up on, and that's what we said we were gonna do, so we're following up on it, and we'll get those folks, an answer for them to check into.
So it looks like we are like 30 seconds. Did that get any closer than that? To being ready to go to...
Pretty good
our-
job, Mr.
our
Chairman.
meeting?
Right on.
It takes me a long time to say, I move we go to drainage.
Second, go into drainage.
Motion and second to go into drainage, and we'll do that.
Okay. I'll
Thank
Good night,
you.
Peggy.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you need to come back, or can we just dismiss?
You
or-
can dismiss with Trish, and then I'll come
Okay.
back for the work session.
All right, thank you.
All right.
You know, talk about firemen, I went to this New York Fire Chiefs thing down at school Sunday,
I heard,
and there were a few fire representatives from every community
Yeah,
around.
I noticed that they're sitting together, a lot of them were.
There's about
sounded like
1,200
they
people
did a-
there.
had a good number.
They had the gym full.
I went down to the Iowa State
You went down to the massacre.
massacre.
Oh.
Talked to Kevin afterwards, and it wasn't a very entertaining.
Yeah, news conference. Oh, well, he said
If
it's
you're a Hawk
coming.
fan, you were in seventh heaven. If you're a Cyclone fan, we found out.
Don't
we'd
say anything,
improved
Chris.
some. We'd improved some, but when you go against that caliber of,
Yeah.
Opponent, it was a long afternoon. Made me wonder why I wore a red coat and Iowa State shirt.
I don't like to assume anything, but I kinda figured you probably went.
Well, I had, I thought about it, there's probably other things I could've done, and then I thought, well, I was one of the ones that was talking to Kevin, trying to get him to come back, so if I leave him hang down there, he's gonna probably call me.
Yeah.
There were 9,000 other idiots there too, weren't
Yeah,
there?
it was a great crowd.
Yeah, well,
A lot of Hawkeye fans were there.
I ran into one of the giddy Hawkeye fans that went to the meet. It was just, this, you know, oh, it was wonderful.
Well, the
I
good
didn't
news
talk to him very
was,
long.
I went to the press, or they have a social afterwards over at the Sukup building, so, I don't know if you know their coaching staff, but, a couple of them are characters.
Yeah.
The one that, is probably the most energetic, he said, you know, after, this is more of a festive mood, and I'm not very festive, I'm more in the mood that I wanna go home and break stuff, and used other words.
Yeah, I'm
Go home and
sure.
break stuff, throw stuff, burn stuff.
Is that the guy with the beard?
So, he said, I'm really not in much of a mood to sit here and talk, thanks for coming, and we'll get better.
Well, he laughed and went home and broke some stuff, probably.
So, anyway,
Morning, Rick.
Rick?
Morning.
Good morning.
thanks for coming, hopefully the roads weren't too treacherous.
No, they
Yeah,
weren't.
change on all four wheels?
Just a good front-wheel drive vehicle, so, worked out fine.
Where we going first, the completion hearing, I
Hearing?
guess? So, we're at 9:00, and now's the time for the main, number 6, main tile, branch B, completion hearing.
That job was done by North Peterson Company out of Badger. They did a good job with it. I understand there's a couple questions as far as maybe something that needs to be added yet. But I don't know if you've seen the final pay estimates on it or not. This is basically paying up the retainage, and there's 2 different pay estimates, labeled final. Pay estimate number 5 for branch B is the final, and pay estimate number 7 is labeled final for the main. I'll give you
So this takes everything, this is retained and
You got one of
everything?
these?
Yes, yep.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
There, I can pass me Dave's copy here, unless you got an extra one.
You got,
Yep, I do have plenty.
Okay.
you get 2 copies?
I got 3, we supposed to have just 1 copy, right?
5 and
There's
7.
2 different sheets,
Yeah,
so
there's
5 and
three
7.
sheets, 5 and 7.
5 and 7, estimates 5 and 7.
Okay.
So,
53,
Got two
506,
fives.
69, and 86, 704.
Extra 5.
yeah, a lot of money held there. We're recommending that it needs to be, the project be accepted, needs to be paid. Mr. Kibritz is here, he was asking about an intake at the end of the job. I need to look better, I'm not sure we had one bid. To utilize the tile, it'd be good to put a large intake up there. I'd rather make the arrangements separately, not extend this any longer, since it wasn't part of the job. But easily can be done, just have to make arrangements to have it done.
What type of arrangements do you need to make?
Just get a hold of a contractor, get him pinned down on the price, and get him out there.
Will that be still in the drainage district then?
Yes.
It'll still be, it'd be
We-
part of this, but
Yeah.
not this, so this can get done,
Right,
obviously.
exactly. There
And which,
is-
you say end of the tile, so like where it starts?
No,
At the
the
very-
upper end,
at the
the upper end.
Upper end,
Yeah, I
that's,
should-
so, I mean, that's where it starts flowing.
Yeah, yeah.
So the upper end?
Yeah, the
and an
very
intake?
upper end, and that's some of the areas
That was
that
the
really
fast
need to,
one. That was 6 for the main
to
tile.
take advantage of the new system. So,
And that just didn't get put in the original planning?
no,
Damage
no.
has
There's-
already been taken.
Is an intake there
By the
on
road.
the old line though, right?
I thought there was $1,000 allowance on there for the new intake, and I might be mistaken, but I thought that's what it was.
I can't remember.
I'll get the specs and look, but, either way, I have no problem with that being done, but I'd rather not hold up.
Try to get it, and, no.
I mean, when you say a large, are we talking,
36-inch diameter probably,
okay, large?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We do them, I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, oh, yeah, but I'm surprised that something that big of an intake wasn't factored into the original plan.
Because there's one there already, and it's on the old line, and then it doesn't go over too far, and it connects to the new line.
Okay, but it's not a 36-inch one, I don't. Is it a big one?
Big.
It is a big one.
Yeah. That was our reasoning, but that's probably
Ah,
one of the biggest trouble spots in the whole area as far as water. And that's why, it's
So 36 by what?
probably 36-inch diameter.
It's not
I
very deep.
understand, but how long? Is it?
It'll be right on top of the main,
Yeah.
how big is that tile right there?
48 in.
Is it that big?
42.
I don't remember.
Well, it's,
Yeah.
it's bigger than
It's
30,
bigger,
it's
yes,
big.
Yeah.
Well, it's gotta be 40,
It's gotta be 40.
I guess it,
48?
Looks like it's 48.
42.
That's what it says
It's
here.
big, I just can't remember what size.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
so there must be a, without looking at the photo, or, you know,
Yeah.
where it says the old intake versus the new intake, there's a little different, distance.
Yes, yes, yes. We made the connection to the old one, I don't remember how far we were, a couple hundred feet from the end, probably.
Mhm.
And then this new one would be in that new location further east.
Right.
probably 36 inch, the way it looks on this sheet.
And right at, technically, right at the end of the
Yes,
tile
right
line.
at the end of the top. Yep,
But the old one is hooked in, so it does work.
yeah.
Could, but that'd be just done on a work order basis.
That's the old line. So the old intake there, and that line is hooked into the new system,
Yep.
but it's a smaller,
And I think the old line's an 18-inch.
Yeah, it's way smaller, yeah, 18 sounds about right. It's close to that, I know.
well, so yeah, to get this wrapped up, yes, because it's kind of a separate deal, a little bit
Yes.
separate.
Yes.
I wonder how soon they could get this other intake installed.
Well, I got a call from Doug Marshall on the way down, asking if, we could use him to do some exploratory this spring, so he's looking for work. I would want to offer it to Peterson's first, who did the job,
Right,
just because they know what's
Yeah.
out there, they
Right.
have sincere interest in taking care of that.
That's a good idea.
yeah.
And that'd be done on a work order basis anyway.
Yes.
I was gonna say, so this, the completion part is completed here.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is gonna be done on
On a work order.
a work order,
separately.
so it's separate,
Yes.
so.
And, so to complete completion, this will be levied then?
Yes,
In our
yes.
March levy timeframe. We okay
sure,
with that?
No, that had to have been decided like in,
Probably get both of them together on the same
October.
levy next fall.
This, really?
yeah, for spring, yeah. Yep. When do you decide on spring levy? I mean,
Oh, I don't know.
that's what.
I'm guessing by the way you clenched your fist, that March is pretty much gonna press you. I mean, I'm not...
Yeah,
Well, we had, and it wasn't this project, but it was another one that we had that discussion, where was the time frame on it? And I don't know, didn't know if we were up against that.
'cause do we have a final reclass on this?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we've got a pre-class, and
Mm-hmm.
it's ready to meet with commissioners, but it's not, that's not formal yet.
Okay, so then, knowing that, we'll suspect this is a September,
Yes.
then, not that, you know, we're near the money to put an intake in, that would be hopefully done, completed, that could be included in that levy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, because
Well,
we
that's-
wanna do that first thing in the spring.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it is, I guess my thought process, still part of this project.
Yes.
And it would be nice then,
That's why I'm looking
if
at
this
it.
is gonna be September levied, that would be too. To
Yes.
make sure that it is, then it's done, they don't get a big
It can be
levy,
one.
and then, well, a small one, well, what's it for? Well, it's for the same thing we just put in, but we forgot the intake. So if it's together, it should be more helpful.
Absolutely, yeah, and everything can be summarized then,
Yep.
yeah.
So that, I guess that's a
5.
good thing.
30 days
Yeah,
following
it'll take care of
completion.
everything.
Yeah.
And we have all the damages in from the landowners?
Following.
Well, that's what Trish just went and, I asked her,
And AGM Farm from Jim Royster. And, his concern was that he lost cash rent plus the income. And I don't know how you want to handle that.
It's an area we went through, so
It was-
there should have been a appraisal.
It was, where the broken tile also was stored.
Oh.
Broken? I wasn't sure if it was broken or the,
Oh, I bet it was when it was unloaded,
The
the
damaged
stuff,
tile.
the damage that they weren't using.
so,
The only thing I'd say we need to check is be sure that there wasn't some allowance already for the easement.
okay.
But other than that, as far as, if there were broken tiles, so he couldn't
What's he
use
got,
it.
6.5 to 7 acres, 100 foot wide.
At, 153.85.
No crop there, or destroyed?
Not planted due to
Not
the
planted.
county tile.
Yeah, and there, I know there were areas like that, yeah.
So I don't know. You can approve
But that was, that was the only one other than the one Chris,
Chris's was on,
That was on a different one,
Different,
three
different one,
forty-seven.
all right.
Yeah.
but that's the end, that's the only one you got,
mhm.
okay?
Alrighty. Well, I'll make the motion for,
I've got it.
oh, you have something else? Okay.
I was, along the lines of the intake on the end of that same line. I had mentioned earlier about, there's an intake on the edge of, Mr. Tibbers' ground and my father's, that there's an intake there existing, similar to what you're talking about, only 12-inch maybe. And that area, I was under the impression that we were supposed to have lateral tiles put in.
Oh, one of the area
in place of an
drains?
intake in that main, and it seemed to be all approved, and honestly, I'd rather have a big intake there too than laterals, because I know what it'll do, and I've got video of what the old one does. And all I have is the old one at the moment with no laterals, and
Well, we can work out that location too. I mean, if we're gonna do one.
This is on branch B.
this is on the main.
This is on the main
Oh,
house.
it's on the
On
main.
branch B, there actually is one on the end of that, so I was
Okay.
kind of trying to look through my photos. I
Okay.
might have a photo of it, I could show it to you, but I'm not fast at finding that stuff. And relate to that.
So this is also on the main that went east. Okay.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, that, we should just look at that in the field quickly with you, replacement.
in the early discussion, it was like, well, all this environmental stuff says we shouldn't have intakes anymore, and there was some talk of, several laterals that going out, and I know they weren't put in because all
Yeah.
my corners were in the harvest.
Yep, those were not put in, because locations were never figured out.
And I
where
know,
those would
yeah,
go.
and I never saw a, sideways drill.
A bore.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
I never saw a boring machine there, so I was pretty sure they hadn't done it.
Yeah, they had done it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're encouraging those, we're calling them clean water area drains with
Mhm.
several tile really close together and then tying them into the main.
And they've done,
You guys did it first down
They were
here
contracted.
on DD 125, it's been almost 3 years ago now.
Mhm.
And knock on wood, not a single complaint, they've all been working very
I
well.
can't remember.
They had rock in,
But I
no,
don't
no,
think
they just
had
put
it on the
tile
record.
What
roof
we
They
found
just
is that with using the rock tends to get plugged up.
Area that they went
Okay.
through.
Whereas like
By the road.
the laterals we're talking about are similar to pattern tiling where
But I think
uh,
they did.
so much helps keep that open, even earthworms. I mean, it's just that getting the pores established and then it takes care of itself naturally. We're figuring out that works better longer than the ones with rock and for about 1/10 of the cost, so.
is this something that is Steve alluding to, that they contemplated doing something like this when he says
Yes,
lateral?
we actually, we bid 2 of them, but no locations became obvious to us. So we didn't put them in. So, but you're talking intake rather than the area drain is preference. Let's look at how big the area is it drains. I might try and convince you on still an area drain, but, and
joins around to it, he may have some interest and opinion about that also.
Sure.
Well, the benefit of the area drain, you farm right over them,
Exactly.
Right.
and they
Yeah.
don't
Obviously.
get, they don't get plugged with
I got a
trash.
video- I got a video from a few years back showing his ground and my ground, I don't know if it was his ground then, but, I'm got a video showing what the existing intake does to a pond,
Mhm.
comes out of it instead of in it. I believe I may have shown it to you.
Yeah, and I've got some aerial photos we looked at, for that very reason. Where is this most severe bonding right now?
So that would be, along with the other one, would that be
A work
a
order.
work order
Yes.
type deal, as
Yes.
opposed to
Yes.
doing this completion?
Yes.
It's because, the contractor's met all the
Yeah.
obligations on the contract.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right, so my other question is, were we close on our bid for where he bid it? I know there was
Actually,
some
yes.
extra rock
I
over
don't-
there along the
well,
highway. or
here's
the
what I
blacktop.
didn't remember. If you look at, near the top in the middle, you can see what the original contract was.
Right,
On the, branch B, we actually came in about, 13,000 under the bid, because there were some things we...
Changed a little bit. I
Yeah,
suppose.
yep. And then on the, 7, I think we were a little bit over. No, we were under there too.
You're under there also.
We're about 8,000 under on that. That's extremely unusual situation. What happens sometimes is we'll allow maybe a little extra trench stabilization material and they don't need it. You eliminate a line, well, we didn't do those area drains, so that made a difference. Yeah, you can see on this pay estimate number 7 on the main tile, we called for clean water area drains at $2,200 each, what they did. We didn't do those, so, that brought the price down a little. So for both of these to come out under the bid amount is hard to believe almost.
Well, that's always a good thing, but
Yeah.
was it just, on each of these, there's a clean water area drain,
Mm-hmm.
which goes back to what our discussion is here. Did we just, must have been some determination to not install those,
Well, it's-
especially when they're on the...
We try to figure out where they will work from the contours, and you
Mhm.
can't always tell that. What works the best is to meet with landowners, and we didn't do that. I mean, we had meetings and things, but
Right.
nobody came up with an area to put them.
And I
So-
appreciate the fact, even with not a real huge intake, yeah, I've been involved with trying to place an intake, and it can be a little tricky.
Yes, absolutely, it can be.
It can be a lot tricky, but, I mean, and this isn't the end of the world type deal, it's just, we're talking potential of 2 intakes and/or clean water area drains
Yes.
after the fact versus that they got built with the project. I'm
Yeah.
wishing...
We're not paying for something.
No, we're not, no, this is all good, there's no issue here. Rick's explanation, they didn't get put in, my little bit concern is that they weren't, or that could you or should you add more in-depth discussion with landowners to get intake, clean out
Yeah,
during the project
yeah.
versus after the fact,
And we should-
because now we're dragging it into this year, this spring, you know, probably crop damage to some degree. You know, I have no doubt that they can get installed, and I have no doubt that they can be levied at the same time that this is, but, here again, we're dragging on versus having that done at the same time.
And I'd like that discussion to start at the preliminary engineering report stage. That's when we should bring up that we typically put in these area drains, please be thinking about where that might work out.
Well, it sounds like Steve had prior knowledge of that.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of input on.
Yep.
And so, and, you know, I don't wanna say anybody dropped the ball on this, and it's definitely now is the time to install, intake, area drain, whatever, but a lot easier if that was done with this
Absolutely.
than dragging into
Mhm.
this year and fiddling around, and, yeah, I know it can be done, and I know it will get done, and if it should be done,
I also stayed 99% out of the field. I stopped out there twice to say hi and how's it going for the whole session, and told them they're doing a fine job and it looks good, keep going.
yeah.
And I stayed out of their
That's appreciated by contractors, 'cause sometimes they do.
Better than more, there's some that would be the complete opposite of that,
Yeah.
Steve, and they probably don't care for that, like Rick
And
said.
I respect they need to get it done, and I try to stay out of there.
You bet, no, that's appreciated.
Yeah. So, I guess that's, I mean, that's just the way it's gonna be. When we have you said, I second this, if it wasn't a second.
I'll make a motion to, for the final pay estimates to, Peterson.
For number 7 at 86,704.89.
Yeah, and number
Five.
5 for 53,506.69.
We have a motion for
Second.
number 7 and a motion for number 5.
And I'll second both of those, number 7 and number 5.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Just something of interest
Motion
related
carries.
to that, related to that project, these forms, are from the US Census Bureau. Every once in a while, the Census Bureau will pick a project to monitor. We had to submit monthly forms for payments made to the contractor. Just something you don't think about, and we don't know which ones are gonna be ahead of time. We'll be starting into a project and we'll get one of the forms, and so we know it's gonna be the one. So, they're through the project, you know, they do this every month, so there was a lot of those, but...
Can you
Nice.
say that on the completion?
Yeah, it's probably part of an overall construction projection, or
Yes.
for 2017, what was the, you know,
Yeah.
what was the construction like, and...
Review by...
How often do you get tasked with something like
Every
that?
couple of years, there's...
Is this random?
Randomly, yeah, as far as we can tell, it's just random.
Which happened to be the project, and
Yeah.
did you get that all taken care of?
Oh, yeah, we take care of those usually within a few days after we
Okay.
get them, so, yeah, it started, well, they hit July of 2016 on here, and now it's through January of 2018.
Oh,
What do you want, do we need a motion to approve this?
I imagine we will have to have it looked at.
Yeah, we'll wanna compare this to what we did for the, report for the,
Okay, I'll make a motion to, pay those damages if they're not already covered under the right-of-way easement.
Second that.
Motion and a second, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
What was the amount of those estimated damages?
I don't think he's got it figured there, does he?
Mhm.
Just as the 6.5 to 7 acres, 100
Yeah.
foot wide, so you're gonna have to do the calculation of the,
okay, so we can do our usual,
200 bushel at $3 a bushel.
yeah. Yeah, we'll come up with that and we'll check it versus the report.
okay? That covers that? Now we're-
Another issue that I'm, mixed about my own concerns about, I'm pretty much the only one affected by it, is County Road, Tennessee Avenue, it's a dead end. I'm the only one that uses it. It didn't get built back into a road. I use it for heavy grain loads. Honestly, this pertains to wind energy, which isn't the issue now, but if the wind energy goes through, that will probably be taken care of at no cost to the county. If the wind energy doesn't go through, I mean, I'd be willing to close that county road.
Okay.
But if the wind energy doesn't go through, I'm not willing to close that
Yeah.
county road.
Yeah.
And I want it fixed.
I've already spoke with secondary roads, and they will fix that where the tile went through.
It didn't get rocked back, or?
The thing is, it's rough. It needs to be bladed and
Okay.
groomed up a little bit. And it'll probably settle over the next few years.
Is it closed for the winter?
Yeah.
No snow.
Or no snow removal on that?
No snow removal in the winter, I thought.
Okay,
And
And
it probably needs a clay base besides rock,
Mhm.
because of that tile, and
Tennessee Avenue.
honestly, I'd prefer a wind road.
Sure.
It would pay better.
It'll cost
Yeah.
the county a lot less.
You can go ahead and sign that, if you like.
Do we need to wait till 9:30 for that award, contract award?
9/24, 26.
Oh. I guess the only thing would be is if there's any other landowners coming to talk about the,
Yeah, we probably should wait.
We take a 4-minute break.
there you go.
Uh-huh.
Want to do that, Mr. Chairman?
If we can do that,
Yeah, I spoke
we're
with
gonna do a time delay.
them about maintaining that road.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And, I even asked them about if you had to just leave your around there and stuff like that.
Okay.